Alright, good evening. So I'm going to go over the Algebra 2 Chapter 2 test to get ready for your retest. So the first one I'm going to go over is number 1. It says find the range of the relation -2, 3, -1, 3, -1, 5. Then determine where the relation is a function. So first thing I'm going to do is find the range. Range is your y value. So I look, that's x, y, x, y, x, y. So my range is 3, 3, 5. But since 3 repeats, I only have to do it once. So 3, 5. So I know it's not A or B, so it must be C or D. The second part says determine if it's a function. If determine if it's a function, you look at the x's. So here's my x's, -2, -1, -1. Do any of those repeat? Yes, -1 repeated. Since it repeated, it is not a function. Okay, if x repeats, it's not a function. Alright, this one was a very common mistake. Everyone knew to plug it in, but when you plugged it in, you forgot to put parentheses right here. Because when I square -1, it's +1. So 1 minus 4 is -3. 2 minus 1 is 1. The answer was B, -3. Don't forget your parentheses when you plug things in. All right. Number 3 was kind of like a trick a little bit. The answer was super easy. What this is showing is that you want to replace T with A. So everywhere you see a T, you're going to plug in A. So I'm going to put an A here and an A here. So the answer was D. A squared minus 2A minus 2. So all you had to do was replace A. Alright. Number 6 says find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Okay. If I want to find the x-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0 for y. So 3x minus 2 times 0 equals 12. 3x equals 12. X must equal 4. So that's 4, 0. If I want to find the y, I plug in 0 for x. So 3 times 0 minus 2y equals 12. That's 0. So -2y equals 12. Y must be -6. So since y is -6, x was 0, -6. That's my x and y intercept. So make sure to put them in point. So the answer was B here. Okay. Alright, next one I'm going to do is number 8. Alright, number 8 said, what is the slope of a line y equal -2? So slope, you look at y equal mx plus b. But if you notice here, there's no x. If there's no x, that must mean, the slope was 0. Oh, my goodness, sorry. Okay, so the slope here was 0. If there's no x, the slope is 0. Alright, number 9 says, what is the slope of a line parallel to this graph? So I want to know slope parallel. Parallel means the slope is going to be the same. So I've got to find the slope. In order to find the slope, I need it in y equal mx plus b form. So if I need it in y equal, first I need to move the x. So how do I move a 2x to the other side? I subtract. So 5 minus, 5 minus 2x. Now I have to get rid of this 3. I divide. Divide everything by 3. So now I have y equal 5/3 minus 2/3 x. So which one was my slope? The one connected to the x. So my slope here is -2/3. Since it's parallel, that's going to be my answer. If it was perpendicular, it would be 3/2 because it's opposite reciprocal if it said perpendicular. Okay, so parallel, you get it in y equal, and that's your slope, whatever the slope is, the m. Alright, number 10 says write an equation of a slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is y equal mx plus b. Alright, that has a slope of -4. Okay, so I know slope is -4. And passes through 1, 2. Well, 1, 2 is a point. So that's my x and that's my y. So I'm going to plug in 2 for y. And I'm going to plug in 1 for x. And then I've got to figure out b. Okay, so let's see. What's -4 times 1? That's going to be -4. So I have 2 equal -4 plus b. How do I move a -4 to the other side? I add it. So it goes away. So 2 plus 4 is 6. So my b must be 6. So my slope was -4 and my b is 6. So I look at the answers. The only one that looked like that was b. Y equal -4x plus 6. That's how you write it in slope-intercept form. Okay. All right, the last page, number 14. 14 was a review from the last 9 weeks test, and what it was is absolute value. To solve absolute value, a lot of you remembered you had to get rid of the 3. This is not parentheses, so you do not distribute. Instead, you got to divide. I've got to divide this by 3, so it's 1. Now, 18 divided by 3 is 6. So now I have 6 is equal to absolute value of 4x minus 10. From there, a lot of you remember you got to split it. But here's what you got to change. I keep the 4x minus 10 the same, and I make it equal to 6. But in the second one, I keep 4x minus 10 the same, but I make it equal a negative 6. And now I just solve it like algebra 1. Add the 10 over. I get 16. Divide by 4, and I get 4. Add the 10 over on this one, and I get 4. When I divide by 4, I get x equal 1. So my answers were 1, 4. In worst case, you can go and check your answers. Plug them in and make sure they work. To get the bars, you go to Math, go over to Num, ABS. Alright, before I do 16, because 16 was the hardest one, I'm going to do number 17 first. Real quick and real easy. I was actually sad how many people missed this one. It says, which inequality best describes the situation when Courtney wants to pay less than $15 for a hat? She wants to pay less than $15. So which symbol makes the less than? The L. So these two are less than. Now, did it say that she wants to spend less than or equal to 15? No. She only wanted to spend less than 15. Okay. But also this one here. Sorry, I missed that one. This one's also less than. This one's a greater because it doesn't make the L. So that one's out. So let's see. This says her hat is less than 15 or 15 is less than the hat. Well, this was not right because she wants to pay less than 15. So she wants to pay less than 15. So the answer there was A. Okay. All right. Number 16 was the hardest one. It's the last one I'm going to do. And it says, which is not part of the definition of the piecewise. So first thing I want to do is I want to see all these piecewise functions. I have C3, so there's going to be 3 equations. So this one, I'm going to find the equation for this one. So I'm going to do the first one right here, number 1. And I want y equal mx plus b. All right, b is where it crosses the y-axis. So if I went, this would cross the y-axis right here, which is negative 3. But I noticed this is a flat line, so it has no slope. So it's just y equal negative 3. All right, now I've got a restriction because this doesn't keep going left and right. It starts here and it moves left. Now going left is less than. So I know x must be less than, and I look at the x value, negative 2. So there's my restriction. X must be less than negative 2. Now I've got to look, is it equal to? No, because it's an open circle. So it's not equal to because it's an open circle. So this graph is everything less than negative 2. So you see it starts at negative 2 and it's everything less than. And the equation was y equal negative 3. So let's see, do I see that on here? Yeah, that was that one. So that one was good because it's saying which one's not. All right, then I do the next one. I got to figure out y equal mx plus b for this one. All right, so I see where it crosses the y-axis, crosses it at 2. Now this one has a slope because it's going up. It looks like it's going up 1 over 1. Yeah, so this is going up 1 over 1, so 1x. So there's my equation, 1x plus 2. Now my restriction. If you notice, this one has, it starts here and stops here. So it starts, let's see, at negative 2 and ends at, let's see, what's that? So this is 2. That must be 1. So the x's are between negative 2 and 1. All right. Now, I got to figure out which ones need to be equal. This one needs to be equal because it's closed. This one doesn't. All right, the last one, number 3. Again, y equal mx plus b. All right, if I were to follow this, it looks like it would cross at 1. So this is the origin, so 1. And then I look and see what the slope is. It's going down 1 over 1, so it's negative 1x. All right, and then I see this one starts here and it moves to the right. It keeps going. So I know it's at greater than or equal to because it's closed. And let's see, what's the x value there? 1. So I go back, let's see, x plus 2 is here. Same restriction, so that one was there. Negative x plus 1, that's this one. So this was the one that was not part of it. Okay, so again for these, you've got to make sure you work on your restrictions. Okay, the restrictions are the hardest part because they stop. So you have to find their starting point and see if they end. If they don't end, then it's going to be like these. It's going to be less than or greater than. If it does end, if it stops, then it's going to be the middle. So you should have one of each kind of inequality, and you just got to fill in your numbers. Okay? All right, good luck.